I interviewed the Bishop of Manchester and I learnt that you don't actually have to be living on the streets to be classed as homeless. You could just not feel like the place that you're living or staying is actually home.
And I learned that through sanctioning and bedroom tax, people have had to revert back to soup kitchens, which this was like in the 1940s when they were first opened.
When we spoke to Nigel, he said that Wythenshawe for the first time is actually one of the most employed areas, which is a lot different from a long time ago. But on the other hand, we spoke to this unemployed young person who's been in and out of jobs, and he said that the jobs that he was in, he just didn't feel comfortable. And I think it was really important that he was talking about how happiness kind of comes over pay at the end of the day, because if you're not happy and then you're not trying your best at the job, then you're going to end up getting sacked. So he wants to go into music, we heard about that, and I think it's really important to go for your passions, but at the same time you end up in a spot that you can't get out of, and that can lead to homelessness, and people need to understand that it's not always because they're lazy or they haven't got the right qualifications.
That's interesting what you say actually, of unemployment over happiness. When I went to town, we met a guy and he said that, well, would you rather have food and no roof over your head, or a roof over your head but no food?
What I found out when I was speaking to Mike Kane was he said that benefits is widely related to mental health, which again relates to what you guys were saying about not being happy and not feeling right.
Mental health kept popping up every single time, more or less, when we was interviewing people. There was actually a guy who was in the army who had come out and his wife had died and he ended up with mental health problems and now he's homeless.
While I was interviewing Nigel, he talked about this programme for the unemployed called Motivate, which is a Greater Manchester-wide programme, and it's to help people get out of these situations, and I think if we could kind of promote that and get the word out there, I think that could really help a lot of people.
There's quite a lot of people around the homelessness area that do similar things, like the food bank and the soup kitchen. Lots of people take their own time to help these people voluntary. And I think if it wasn't for these sorts of people, the situations of these topics would be a lot worse.
See, when I was doing my interview with Mike Kane, he said it's everyone's responsibility to help, and that is what the benefit system's there for, and it's to help people in times of need.
So how are we going to fix this then?
Well, we can't. The people I actually spoke to said that we can't eradicate it. We just have to keep trying to do our best.
No, I agree with you there. I think that there's not always going to be a main solution, but at the end of the day we need to get as many people helping as we can, because the more people that help, the less numbers there are and the bigger difference that's made.
Benefits can't be eradicated, but I think it's really important for us as young people to be aware, because this is what we're going to have to grow up and know about homelessness and unemployment and all these issues.
Finally, we managed to get one last interview with a young person affected by all three issues.
So, first of all, can you just tell us about the sort of housing situation you're in?
Basically, I'm in supported accommodation at the moment. I got put there because I was having a few family issues at home and I didn't like it. It was exciting, it being my first own property and it actually being mine, and me not being told what I can and can't do, but at the same time it's been really difficult for me as well.
How did you get into the supported accommodation?
Well, I had to put myself homeless and go to town hall in Manchester, and they helped me find the supported accommodation.
You spoke about it being difficult. What do you mean?
Well, I have to pay my water, my TV licence, my council tax. I have to pay for my electric and my food, and it's really difficult with the amount of money that I'm on at the moment.
Other than finances, what are the other issues that you face in your supported accommodation?
It does get very cold with the windows only being single glazed, and especially through the winter it gets really cold, and they cost a lot of money to run as well, to keep yourself warm. There's staff that are meant to support you and help you through your situation, and you can go and ask them for help, but they they don't really do anything for you. That it's like they're clueless themselves to what you need to do.
How do you think other people in society view people on benefits who are homeless and unemployed?
Most likely lazy and that I don't want to work because I'm on benefits and stuff, but they're completely viewing it wrong because it's really hard to find a job, and when you do find a job sometimes it isn't really what you've got experience in, so sometimes when you do work you might be clueless to what you're actually doing yourself.
What kind of work do you want to do?
I want to work with children, and children with mental health issues, or I want to work with children with disabilities just to help them have a better future.
And what drives that passion?
I've got mental health issues myself, so for me to be like this and to see a young person like that, it's just not a nice feeling. I want to be able to help.
Programmes like Benefit Street, do you think they're the wrong interpretations of what it's really like to be on benefits?
Obviously there is people that are on benefits and that are actually trying to look for work, but yeah, you do get people on benefits that do just want to be on benefits and don't want to work, and it's free money for them, but at the same time they have to realise that it's not easy for the people that are on benefits that are trying to get jobs when they're just taking it for granted completely.
Do you feel there are more people on benefits who are actually struggling rather than taking advantage of the system?
Yeah, definitely. I know a couple of people that do want to work and have been trying to find work, but have found it very difficult, especially being on benefits and not having degrees or having the right things that they need for their job, and especially when the job centre, they say that they're there to help, but they don't actually help you with what you need. They just help you with telling you to find work, like making you keep sure that you're on track of looking for work, but they don't help you when it comes to actually getting the job.
What do you think people could do to help?
One thing is looking presentable. That's a big main target when you're being interviewed. It's how you present yourself and how you look, and if they haven't got the funding for it, they can't help that.
Do you think there's a lack of education of these subjects?
Well, a lot of people just see it as free money, but they don't get explained what they've got to do or what they've got to do to help themselves. There's people that are oblivious to. There's people that have never even had interviews in their life or anything like that, and it's hard for them because they don't understand what to do or what to say or how to present themselves. You've got to give them the experience to do so, otherwise they're not going to get anywhere with it.
Would you increase the benefits for people who are really trying to get into work?
Being a young person, living in a supported accommodation on my own and having to run all my bills, £114 a fortnight is not enough at all. And there's a lot of things to pay. Out of that £114, it's got to last me 2 weeks. I spend around £20-30 on food a fortnight, and that just gets me by, but I have to make sure that I cut it down into to make sure it does last me the time that I need it to. If you crack down, you can see who's just trying to take the mick out of the system and who's actually taking it really seriously, and for those that do take it seriously, I think that they should be offered a lot more support.
.6% is the percentage of unemployment in Wythenshawe. That's 0.3% below the national average.
According to the latest figures published in January 2017, 4,134 people are sleeping rough in the UK. Manchester has the fourth highest homelessness figures in the UK.
People aged 16 to 18 are not allowed to work more than 35 hours in a week. At minimum wage, this adds up to only £135.45 a week.
44% of homeless people have been diagnosed with a mental health problem, compared to 25% of the general population.
From our research and investigations, we have learned that there are a lot of things happening in order to help people with the issues of unemployment, homelessness and poverty. However, we feel strongly that there is still a lot more to do. Everyone can do something to help, no matter how small. We challenge you to think about how you can help.